Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This time we are going to be taking a peek at the month of September and seeing everything you can expect in the upcoming month, everything you need to be aware of, everything you should look forward to, and any messages you need to know about the month of September. So today we have a beautiful selection of different crystals for you to choose from. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it, and then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon to watch all my additional readings. There are over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your next glow up, as well as one about your future spouse, but there are so many different topics to choose from. Like I said, over 90 additional topics, and you also get to vote and suggest on new topics too, so it's super interactive. If all of that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading or a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, you get to customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you, and we get to answer all your questions. If all of that sounds good to you, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. So you guys got caring connections, broken heart, happy family, and healer of the ages. So connections, relationships is obviously a huge theme for you in the month of September. And I feel like for those of you guys who are single, you may be finding a partner. And for those of you who are in relationships, you are going to be deepening these connections so much. Spirit is telling me that a lot of you guys have been doing shadow work, and it's almost like you are taking off your rose-colored glasses or seeing a connection, seeing a person a lot more clearly. For some of you guys, that could be a connection that is going to end or like change as a result. But I also feel like there's a possibility of like getting so much deeper after working through a problem. You know, I think sometimes people think, oh, well, I want to be in this relationship, so let me ignore something they're doing that bothers me, or let me pretend I don't care that they do blah, blah, blah. And I feel like it's almost like you might be realizing how much better your relationships in general can get when you're willing to address those problems, when you're willing to like actually deal with them. You know, sometimes we think, oh, I'm helping this relationship because I'm not going to start an argument, but maybe then you're also not giving your partner the space to like grow, change, and maybe they would be happy to change that for you or do something differently, you know, if you asked. But because you don't even offer them that, you don't even tell them what's going on, they're not able to. So I could see this being a relationship where like maybe you've been in the honeymoon phase, or maybe you have been putting on rose-colored glasses, or it could even be with a family member or a friend, but you're just trying to like la la la, let me ignore, let me pretend that's not happening. And now you're like, it's time for me to address this. And almost like, wow, it gets so much better on the other side of addressing it. You know, I always mention I have a, you know, connection with someone who was a Libra Mars, and I always totally understand why it's debilitated there, because I think Libra Marses in general, they love to keep the peace and they have a really hard time addressing problems or rocking the boat. You know, they just want harmony, they want everyone to get along. But I always felt like with this Libra Mars, there would be things that would bother them, but instead of them bringing it up to me or saying, hey, like, you know, it kind of really upset me when this happened or whatever, you know, do you think you could maybe not do blah, blah, blah? They would just like ignore. If I was like, is something wrong? You're acting weird. They'd be like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's completely fine. And then they keep acting weird. And I'd be like, I know something is bothering them, but like, I don't know how many more times I can ask and how irritating I feel like being today, because how can I make this person, like, what am I supposed to do? Tie them up and force them to tell me, you know? So I'd be like, okay, I guess I'll drop it then. But the situations never got resolved. And I feel like, you know, what I learned from that connection was just how important conflict can be in a good way. Like, sometimes you have to sit down and tell your partner something that's bothering you or your friend or whatever. And the more you keep trying to stuff those feelings down, the more you keep trying to ignore them or blow past them or just like, oh, I hope this situation magically fixes itself, is probably not going to. Even if this is like dealing with your boss or dealing with something in your career, if there's something that needs to be addressed, if there's something that needs to be fixed, like, you're the only one who can take action and do that and either bring it up to your partner, or if it's something with your job, maybe, you know, doing whatever differently or sending out your resume or bringing it up to a coworker. But you're the one who has to be like, let me advocate for myself. And you might be surprised that the person is like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that bothered you. I thought you liked that. Hey, no big deal. Let me switch and change it up. And I think so much of the time when we're like not going to bring it up, it's because we're afraid. It's because we're terrified that, like, I don't want to lose this person. So let me just, but it's still affecting things. It's affecting the relationship. They can probably sense from your energy something is weird, and that can be exhausting in itself. So yeah, I just feel like there's a message for you with, even if there is like a bump in the road with this connection, it doesn't necessarily mean it's over or it can't continue. Or if there's something in your life in any way, whether it's your job, whether it's, you know, your living situation, but if there's something that's bothering you, I think, you know, it's worth thinking about, is there a way I can address this situation? You know, instead of like blowing up about it. You know, I noticed that with a lot of like Libra Mars, or sometimes other like a Pisces Mars or whatever. They may be like super chill, super chill, super chill, and then there's like an explosion. And you know, that's why Mars is exalted in Capricorn, because Capricorn's a slower energy and it's kind of more steady. So it's more like, I'm gonna bring this up early, and like, I'm not gonna scream at you, I'm not gonna scream in your face, but I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. And once you start doing that, it can be so much more easy just to like make that a pattern. Like, okay, it's bothering me, I'm going to bring it up right away. You know, I'm going to say something. I'm going to not, you know, throw a plate at someone's head or do anything crazy, but I'm going to mention it and give them time to address it as well. I feel like for you, this could even be about, like, in connections in general, questioning to yourself whether sometimes you like hide a little bit. Like, it could be that, you know, you're on a first date if you're single, and instead of, you know, if the person says like, oh my God, I'm so into baseball, I'm obsessed with baseball, it's my life, I could never imagine dating a girl who's not into sports. And then you say, and you like hate sports, and you say, oh my God, I love sports. I love baseball. Oh my God, I'm a huge fan. Because you're like, oh, I like this guy. He's cute. I don't want him to dump me because I don't like sports. But the reality is that obviously that's not honest. And there may be a really cool opportunity for you to say, like, you know, I'm gonna be keeping it 100% real with you. I actually am not a fan of sports at all. I've never been into them, but I'm always down for like a fun day trip, exciting activity. So I'm down to go with you to the baseball game. You know, you can buy me some popcorn and a hot dog, and I'll give it a shot, you know, and you can like make it into a fun thing, but at the same time, honor yourself and be honest. And I think a lot of times when someone likes someone, or someone's, you know, getting to know someone, they almost want to put on like a veneer or a fakeness, or say that they are different than they really are. And the reality is, whatever is for you will truly be for you. Whatever is meant for you will always be for you. And that's why I think it's actually such like a life hack kind of, to like just be 100% honest and just be like, this is who I am. Because that way, the person that's actually like, no, sorry, I already wanted a girl who's 100% into baseball. Like, first of all, that's so unreasonable. That's like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's already kind of a red flag if someone's that rigid. So that's something you should know anyway. And it's better to tell them, yeah, I'm not into baseball, so they can like be like, okay, well, you know, I like you and I can work with that. But if they're instantly like, oh, then I never want to see you again, then they never liked you that much in the first place. And then you know that, and now you're not wasting your time with them. Like, so exhausting whenever I've had a friendship or any connection where I'm trying to fake or twist myself into a pretzel or pretend or be like, yeah, I love this when I actually don't. Those are the worst, most exhausting things in life. So I feel like for you, the message is just like embracing your truest self, you know what I mean? And then being amazed at how much deeper your connections can get. And I bet when you think back to like the first time you met your best friend or a really great relationship, there was probably something like that. Like the first time, think of in rom-coms how many times like the couple meets for the first time and it's like the woman trips over something and she spills all her belongings on the floor and the guy rushes over to pick them up. And like if you could write, like if you were in that situation, like it would probably be extremely embarrassing. You'd probably be beating yourself up thinking like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. Oh, I look like such a weirdo. But that's actually probably why they write that, is because that dude that's actually into you is not going to be like, what the hell? She just dumped her stuff on the ground. She's so clumsy. Ew. He's going to be like, oh, wow, she's so clumsy. That's so cute. You know what I mean? Because that's love. That's when you're actually interested in someone, like you can kind of do whatever in front of, or vice versa. Like when they're into you, you can kind of do whatever in front of them and they're going to still be cool with it, within reason, and vice versa. Like when you really like someone and they tell you, I don't know, like something you said was a deal breaker. Like maybe you said, I would never date a guy in this profession. Like I would never date a guy who's, I don't know, a bartender because I heard bartenders cheat or whatever. I'm just throwing something out. But you meet that guy who's a really cute bartender and you really like him and you get butterflies and like he's super, super sexy and he's charming and he's nice. I promise you're going to still go on that date with that bartender no matter how many times you swore up and down like, I'll never date a bartender. You know what I mean? I know that's a funny example, but my point is that when it comes to love, all those things kind of get thrown out the window, and it's actually better to be 100% truthfully yourself, and then you're kind of sorting out the people that aren't vibing with you regardless. And that goes for romantic relationships, careers. I mean, I know you can't just like show up to work on your first day in sweatpants and, vaping at your desk and like like trying to watch Netflix at the same time or whatever. But within reason, you can be like, kind of authentic, I guess, with your coworkers, or you can not promise that I'm going to stay every day late and work an extra 2 hours, and then that also sorts out the job like that's going to try to take advantage of you. I mentioned it before, but when I was younger, I worked in some really janky, literally like so janky, these workplaces and offices. And they would always expect us to work through lunch and also to like work late without pay, which at the time I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I get it. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like I would never do that. And that's why they want to hire like a 21-year-old right out of college, because you kind of don't know any better, or a lot of, if it's your first big job, like your first behind a desk job, you might not know better. But yeah, I look back now and I'm like, oh wow, I wish I remember there was another girl who worked at that same job and she had worked in desk jobs before, and she was telling me, she was like, girl, this place is like really ghetto and you should probably leave. And then she quit like the week later or whatever. And anyway, she was completely right. And I was thinking, I don't know, she's kind of like harsh about it. Maybe it's not that bad. And now I look back and I'm like, she was so accurate. Like she saw the writing on the wall and she already left. And that's my point, is like, if you're that person that takes your lunch break when you say you're going to, and you're that person that's like, no, I actually need to get home. It's 5 p.m. and I'm off the clock. Then you're going to already kind of like I guess magnify your way, or what is it? Magnetize your energy to a place that will pay you fairly and will give you a good job. So there's literally no downside, is what I'm saying, to being as authentic as you can, to being truthful, to being what you are, to showing what you are, to speaking it loudly. And I feel like all the times I have gotten into trouble, or all the times I've screwed myself over, have been when I have been willing to like lie or say like, yeah, no, it's fine. I actually don't get hungry during lunch anyway, so I'm fine to keep working at my desk. All those things are the things that like led me down the bad path. And the more I could meet someone that maybe was a prospective friend and be like, oh yeah, well, to be honest, I don't blah, blah, blah. Or no, I'm not interested in that. Or a workplace, oh, actually, no, I do need to make sure I get my health insurance or whatever. the better things you attract. You know what I mean? And also the universe will like give you what you say you want. And the more you accept that low vibrational energy, the more you say, I'm not good enough as I am, so let me lie, let me twist myself, let me pretend, let me, try to make someone else comfortable, then the more the universe is going to be like, okay, so you're not good enough and you want to attract people who will treat you that way. So, yeah, the message is for you guys is just, I feel like there's no way you can go wrong with the truth, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single. There is a message for you about almost like things get better and better and better on all levels. The more you're willing to embrace conflict, even if that's within a relationship. Sometimes we think like, oh my God, the first argument, or oh, that couple is perfect because they never argue. But I think I heard something from people who are like relationship experts, and they said that actually a little conflict between couples can be a good thing because it shows that both people are committed to working through the relationship. Both people are genuinely committed. They're willing to do the work. And it actually points to longevity, which actually backs up the astrology, because actually like Saturn placements are really, really good in synastry, and no one would expect that. But Saturn placements, when it comes to like Saturn aspecting Venus in some way, like a conjunction, square, opposition, whatever. I mean, it depends on the intensity, trine, sextile, whatever. But Venus to Saturn actually can really confer longevity, meaning a little bit of conflict, a little bit of hard work in that relationship means they're going to last a long time. Anyway, let's get into some tarot for you, pile number 1, of what they can expect in the month of September. So we got the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, let's see. Ooh, the 10 of Pentacles. That's exciting. Okay, and the 7 of Swords reversed. Let's see what's going to be happening for pile number 1 in the month of August. Queen of Cups reversed. 2 more cards. Okay. The 8 of Pentacles reversed. And the 6 of Cups. So there's going to be a really beautiful energy around you. Maybe a lot of time to spend with your loved ones, maybe a lot of time to spend with family members. You may be really enjoying this month and feel like it's just a time for you to kind of like sit back and relax and enjoy a little bit. This could be a beautiful highlight month for you where you look back and you think, wow, I had a lot of memories coming in at that time. And it may also be a really great financial month as well. With the 6 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, things could ease a little bit financially, and you may also feel like there's someone very generous around you who is happy to pay for things, happy to do things for you. I feel like for you, the focus is on really enjoying your life, and Spirit is saying that maybe they have given you this time. They have given you certain relationships or gifts or just like things going on in your life in order to like really make this time a little bit of a highlight. Also, with the Queen of Cups coming out reversed, to me, how I'm interpreting that is there may be a lot of time for you to spend on your hobbies, the things you really love, the things you enjoy. And again, that message about being unafraid to communicate, I also feel like you are learning to realize that like your emotions don't have to run the show. You know, you don't have to end up like if you get upset about something small, or if there's a slight bump in the road or whatever, it doesn't mean you have to be completely derailed or completely like hysterical about it. The Queen of Cups has a really great control over her emotions, and she honors her emotions. She doesn't ignore them, but she also doesn't like completely let them make up every decision in her life. You know, she's going to choose her path and what works for her. And again, I feel like there's that message that sometimes when we we can almost sometimes, like I said, there is that energy of not being reactive enough and just burying something. But also there's that energy where sometimes we can go the other direction. We react to everything. And really what we want is that temperance, that moderation. Almost like, I'm going to acknowledge this problem. I'm going to work on it. Maybe I'm going to address it or bring it up to someone else. But I also don't have to like let my emotions dictate everything. So if I'm annoyed, if I'm slightly like aggravated by something, that doesn't mean that everything is all bad, you know? And sometimes I think our relationships in particular get so much deeper and so much better when we're willing to work through those small problems. Like when we see that bump in the road, or we see that little issue, that disagreement we have with someone, that not exactly understanding or agreeing with them completely, but we're willing to work past that, and we're willing to kind of stick through it to the other side. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something you guys are really, really learning. It's almost like you are leveling up your maturity, I feel. And in the month of September, you may really feel like there are either a lot of challenges with that kind of challenge your maturity, or I almost feel like you're getting to that reward period where maybe there have been times in the past where you would have been super reactionary and like stormed out or left something behind because there was a disagreement. And now you're learning again how to like stick through it and bring it up and let's fix this, let's work on it, and how good things can be in your life when you're willing to do that. You know, it's almost like you'll hear stories about people that maybe they have a slight problem, or they kind of get frustrated at a certain living situation, so they end up moving across the country, or they end up completely leaving that living situation behind. And then inevitably that same problem pops up in that new location, you know, because it's almost like it's not about the location, it's about who you are. And if every little thing bothers you, you're gonna find something to bother you in that new place as well. And sometimes a move can be really, you know, supportive and good, and there's a change that needs to be made, but sometimes it also can be a way that we like run away from our problems. And sometimes realizing, you know, I really dislike this apartment, but maybe there's something I can fix. Maybe there's something small I can address that can change this situation. And then being willing to stick it out allows you to kind of realize this alchemy that takes place when we have that longevity, when we have that patience. And instead of like either blowing up or just suppressing it and stuffing it down, we really are willing to stick with it. And I feel like it's almost like I said, you realizing how good things can get and how amazing life can be when you don't run away and you don't ignore, but you just kind of deal with something in a patient way. Let me get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 1. So we want to know what's going to be happening for pile 1 in the month of September. Overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. Wow. So I think it's safe to say this is a really good financial month for you guys. You could be seeing an influx of money, or maybe your expenses go down a lot. I feel like I am hearing that you guys are going to be doing better in your career, or you're going to have more attention on you as well. You may have more people noticing you, more eyes on you. And I feel like it's almost like people are really vibing with your personality as well at this month. People really enjoy you and enjoy being around you. And I feel like they can also see this personal growth, like your family members, your friends, they may really notice this about you, that your energy just seems different, more calm, more grounded, less reactive, less overly emotional, and more like very patient and calm and relaxed. So I feel like that is going to come through as well to people, and people are noticing that in a super positive way. Let me get some more cards for you. Pile number, oh my gosh. Wow, we have a lot of really great financial cards. So pile number 1, you guys may really be like making bank this month. You might just be, wow, having a lot of finances come in. There is just a lot of abundant energy around you. It could even just be with attention romantically. If you're dating, you might feel like you have multiple suitors, multiple people that want to date you, multiple people that are very impressed by you. Again, I feel like you are being noticed in a new way this month, and it's almost like your name is on everyone's lips. Like everyone is talking about you in a good way, or just like very impressed by you this month. Let me get some more cards for the month of September. 2 more cards, Spirit. Okay. Beloved, radical acceptance. Yeah, Spirit is saying this would be an incredible month as well. Oh my gosh, as I'm saying this, we get this card, covenant, sacred contract. We also got will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. But this card to me is coming through as, yeah, maybe spending more time with a very close loved one that I feel like adds so much to your life. I feel like you're feeling really grateful for this connection. And if you haven't met someone like that yet, this person could be coming into your life in the month of September. You may be meeting your person in the month of September and really feeling super connected to them. And I feel like for you, again, it's coming from that deep place of authenticity. This could be meeting someone where you don't feel like you have to lie about them to them on the first date. Maybe you normally would, going back to that metaphor, say, oh yeah, I love baseball. But you find yourself telling this person right away, like, no, I actually hate all sports. I straight up hate them. And just being completely authentic and this person really loving it. And that's actually the really cool thing with soulmates is you already know each other's energy. You've been around each other in past lifetimes. So they're not going to be as surprised anyway. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I already knew that. And intuitively, I knew you hated sports. Like, yep, totally already was aware of that. But I feel like for you, this is about also being brave enough to step out, being brave enough to like go there, and even being brave enough to work through the issues with will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. This could be almost like that kind of like sometimes you think something that might weaken a relationship, like getting into an argument, might actually sometimes strengthen it. Maybe when you address those problems, maybe when you're willing to talk it out, you end up on the other side feeling like so much more renewed, so much more stable, and so grateful to your partner that they were willing to address things. So grateful that, they're not abandoning, they're not just like running away and they only want the easy, fun energy, but they are like, yeah, I am sticking with you and we're going to work through this and whatever. So yeah, I feel like for you, like I said, this month is almost telling you you have no idea how good things can be. And when you're willing to put the work in, when you're willing to address things, when you're willing to be calm and patient with things and not just run off at the first sign of conflict or the first sign of, oh, we're mismatched, but we're going to stick this out. We're going to work through it. How amazing that can be. And sometimes there's that beautiful rainbow on the other side of the storm. So yeah, I feel like you are doing some like upper level soul work this month, pile one. Let me get some message cards for you for the month of September. What messages do you have for pile one for the month of September, Spirit? Okay, this one says, oh my gosh, rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. Right after I was talking about, the rainbow after the storm, we get this rejuvenating rain. And yeah, exactly. Just like maybe sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, there's storm clouds, there's a storm, I don't want a storm. But the air is so much clearer after, and you feel better after. The ground got their little nourishment, the plants, the trees, so there's that lovely smell of like petrichor in the air after the rain. So there's so many benefits to it, even though maybe going through it isn't as pleasant or it can feel like a bad thing. It's like a lot of times you come out stronger, better, more clear-headed. And I feel like you're really learning that there's certain situations that you might have to be sticking out, or certain situations that, sometimes can be difficult, but it's almost like you're realizing, hey, this is worth it. And by the way, I'm not saying if someone's like abusive or someone is really toxic in your life, I think you should absolutely listen to that. And I am a fan of cutting people off if you need to. Like if you know in your heart that you feel really disturbed every time you talk to someone, you feel really devalued, you feel super upset every time you get off the phone, that's definitely a sign. I would say personally, I would not want to be carrying on an active relationship with someone who made me feel that way. So that's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about relationships where maybe you still feel really respected by this person. Maybe you feel genuinely loved by them, but then it's like, oh, we disagree on this major issue, or we have something that we don't quite see eye to eye on, or we had a little argument. They didn't do anything crazy. And I feel like that's what I'm talking about, is those positive relationships that really add to your life, or the positive creative job that you love it, but maybe there's something small that you dislike, and how great it can be to stick that out, not seeking out a bad toxic situation. Definitely not that. Let me get some more cards for you. Pile number 1. This one says passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Yeah, I feel like you guys are really being called to enjoy the month of September. This could be, oh my gosh, and now we have rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. So just after I got through talking about the rainbow after the storm, we get the rain card and now the rainbow card. I love it. But yeah, I feel like for you, this is really a highlight month. This is a beautiful month for you guys, and it may feel like everything is just coming up roses. Like this is a month for you to really enjoy and make the most of it. We also got solitude and silence. Peace prevails, but I'm not seeing as much solitude for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling like connection is actually a theme for you this month. And I feel like for you guys, this is about enjoying making the most of it. Even if you are spending time by yourself, this could be about making sure that you really enjoy your time. Like since it's fall, maybe you live in a place where there's harvest festivals and you don't have anyone to go with, but you go to the harvest festival, buy yourself some apple cider, buy yourself an apple fritter and enjoy and have a great day, or you go with a friend or whatever. But I feel like for you, this is really about like having the best possible time you can have, savoring every bit of it, really enjoying it, and almost like you're going to have a time in your future when you look back at this time in your life and you think, wow, that was such a great time. Or like, oh my gosh, wow, I can't believe that was my month. What an awesome experience, you know? So, yeah, it feels very, very positive for the month of September. I hope that resonates, guys. If it does, then let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I have over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your next glow up as well as your future spouse. But like I said, there's over 90 exclusive readings, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So it's very interactive as well. You get to vote and suggest on new topics, and there's a lot to choose from over on Patreon. If that sounds good to you, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want it to be a quick half-hour session or a full hour-length session, whether you are looking for a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, a combination, whether you want me to do it pre-recorded or live one-on-one, you get to really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in booking that slot with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got Woman Holding a Heart, Strategy, Blossoming Abundance, and the Sun. So it feels to me like this is going to be an amazing month for you guys, and so many of you who picked this pile are ready for some kind of a big life change. It feels like you are making moves in the month of September. For some of you guys, that could be a literal like physical move, or maybe like changing jobs. I feel like there's this sense that like you're either ready for a trip, you're ready for a new challenge, you're ready for a vacation, you're ready for a change in scenery, but it's almost like you're craving that new energy. You're craving some kind of different thing happening for you. And I feel like you might be getting that in the month of September. So especially if there's something that has been stagnant or at a standstill or just not budging, that might finally start moving forward in the month of September. And you might really start to see action happening, especially that would come forward more in the month of October. There is this blossoming abundance card. So there's also the potential for a lot of positivity around your work life, around your career. You might be making more money. You might even be promoted. You might be getting more attention with that. The Sun card also points to getting a lot of attention. The Sun card, of course, is the center of the universe that all the other planets rotate around. So whenever we see the sun, it means that we might be the center of attention and people may really be noticing us. So this could be a good month to like apply for a promotion or put your name out there for managing a project or something like that. It can mean that, you know, all eyes are on us, and especially if we're craving that attention or we want to kind of see that work pay off or see people notice how hard we've been trying, then the Sun card can be a really positive energy and show that that might happen. And even if we're wanting to date, because we have this woman holding a heart card, this could be a great month for that. People may really be noticing you and you may really be turning heads. I'm also feeling like there's a lot of fun energy around you. So this could be a great month for you to go on dates, to get on an online dating website or whatever, a dating app or whatever it is. In order to put your name out there, because I feel like there's a lot of people, like I said, noticing you, paying attention to you. And I'm seeing specifically, like if you go out to a nightclub or a restaurant, whatever, it's like you're going to be turning heads. This could even be a great month for you to like redo your wardrobe, purchase, I don't know, a new hairstyle or do something different with your appearance. I feel like Venus is really going to be shining strongly on you this month. So to me, it's giving the vibe of like a major Venus transit for some of you guys. Maybe Venus transiting over your sun, over your moon, over your Venus, or aspecting it, you know, trining it, sextiling your natal sun. It just feels to me like this is a really great month for you when it comes to your appearance and maybe making physical changes to that, like getting your nails done, getting your hair done, putting that extra effort into your looks. I feel like is really going to pay off this month. You might even be changing up your fitness routine or deciding that you want a new regime when it comes to like what you eat, eating more healthfully. I also feel like this could be a month when you spend a lot more time with friends and socializing. There's a very bubbly, energetic energy around you guys in the month of September. So I feel like you might be kind of booked and busy, but like enjoying it. Or you might be traveling a lot, but like you're loving that, you know, and you're exploring and you're not traveling in a way that's like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Like I have all these work business trips. But maybe even if it is a work trip, you still take the time out to like go visit a little amusement park nearby, or you know, treat yourself to dinner after your meetings are finished. Whatever kind of travel you're doing, I feel like it's just very fun and almost regenerative. Like it brings back your energy and you feel more healed as a result of it. And I also feel like you're really having to make some big decisions again about your future, and spirit is telling me that if you have been feeling this call to change, if you have been feeling like, you know, things have been kind of stagnant and I'm ready for something new, I'm ready for a new challenge, like I just feel like it's time. Spirit is saying it is time, and also like you're so capable of doing this. And also Spirit wants to give you that reassurance that like things are going to line up in the right way and fall into place. So if you have been worrying that, you know, what if that doesn't work out, whatever, just know that it will. Things are going to work out for you. And I feel like you're going to also know what to do. You're going to know what path to take at the right time. You're going to get that clarity and that guidance. And I love the quote or the phrase, the path appears. Because to me, that's so true for everything that's happened in my life, where like sometimes you're like, I don't know which right road to take. And then right when you have to make the decision, like suddenly that path opens up and you're like, this is the right one. This is exactly where I'm supposed to head. And you just know it in your core. And so I feel like for you, you are ready for this new challenge, and Spirit is telling you not to be worried and almost like, hey, it's time to do it. I'm seeing someone literally like jumping out of a plane, but they have a parachute on, so don't worry. Not in a bad way, they're jumping out of a plane in a dangerous way, but it's like maybe they're skydiving or whatever, but they've got that parachute. So it may feel really scary, it may feel really risky, but they do have the parachute and they'll be okay. And I feel like that's the vibe for you, like not to worry, it is going to turn out okay. And whatever change you're making, like I feel like you're very divinely supported. I feel like your guides are with you, your angels, your ancestors are very strongly around you, and they're also saying like you've been doing a lot of shadow work, you've been doing a lot of inner work, so you're ready for this new challenge in a way that maybe you wouldn't have been ready like a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago. You would not, and maybe that's what's causing the resistance or making you question like, I don't know, like I don't think I'm ready for this, is because you wouldn't have been ready in the past. So your mind keeps going back to that old version of you and thinking like, oh my God, am I crazy? Why am I signing up for this? Like, I could never do this. Look who I am. But Spirit is saying, you're not that same person anymore. And there is a new version of you that is so much more in alignment with this and is very magnetically drawn to this energy, and vice versa. The energy is also drawn to you. And so things are going to flow a lot better than they would have if you had tried to do this 2 or 3 years ago, even if you would have still wanted it back then, even if you would have been like, oh, this sounds really cool back then, but you're right, you wouldn't have been able to handle it, but that is an old energy version of you, and it's not the current reality. So yes, you are capable of managing this challenge, and not to worry, because you've got this, and you also have a good head on your shoulder, and Spirit just wants to remind you that like you're very smart, you're very capable, and you can definitely do it. So let me get into some tarot for you. Pile number 2. So we want to know what is happening for pile number 2 in the month of September. In the month of September. So we got the 6 of Wands. I love that. Such a positive card. Okay. And then we have, let's see, the 3 of Cups. Yes, totally the vibe I've been picking up on. The 3 of Cups is such a fun card. So is the 6 of Wands. But both of them are really fun cards. And the 3 of Cups in particular is extremely social, loves to go out, loves to socialize, have fun, dance, maybe drink a little bit. So again, like I said, I can just see someone going out for a date or going out for a girls' night, and like everyone's heads are turning, maybe because you're having so much fun, you're just having a blast, you're emanating out that energy of like a good time, positivity, fun, excitement. But I feel like there's so many people that just want to get close to you, want to be around you during this month. It's almost like if you do decide to go out, like trust me, heads are going to be turning. We got the 9 of Wands. Okay. And let's do 3 more cards. Okay, the 2 of Wands. And I want to know what's happening for pile number 2 this month. 7 of Pentacles and 1 final card. What's happening for pile number 2 this month? This one is the 10 of Cups, and this is reversed. So perfect. We have some really positive cards for you. Pile number 2. So let's start out with one of the most positive cards in the whole tarot deck, the 6 of Wands. This could talk about you really being celebrated for your achievements. And like I said, definitely all eyes on you during this month of September. With the 6 of Wands, you can see this guy is literally parading through town, like, you know, he has all these people around him and they're all cheering him on. They have their wands raised in the air, cheering him. He's on his horse and he's looking great in his armor. Maybe he just came back from war or a battle or whatever, and they're waving flags. It's a very celebratory energy. So again, if there's something like you've wanted to launch in the public eye, if you have wanted to apply for some kind of promotion, if you have been just wanting to get dressed up and go out for girls' night, all eyes are going to be on you. People are going to be paying attention to you. This would be a great month if you're like, oh, I kind of want to launch a podcast, or I want to do something different, or I want to put myself out there for that promotion, or take that sales job where I'm going to be talking to people all day. Like, this is a great month for that. And you may really feel like your efforts are finally paying off in the month of September. Like if there's been something you've been working at for a while, you've been trying to do, it's like you're really there and you are ready. I feel like it's almost like the work you've been doing, Spirit is also saying, like, it's just getting better and better. It's getting deeper. It's getting more intense. It's like you are starting to get a name for yourself, or you are starting to really make inroads into this industry. It could even be in the context of a relationship, like the relationship just getting better and you knowing that person way more. Or in early like dating, if you're single and you're dating around, like you start getting a reputation in the single scene, not in a bad way reputation, but like a reputation of like, oh yeah, that's Brittany. She's really fun and she's like, oh, she's super cute. A lot of guys want to date her, but she's cool, or she's on the party scene, and like, yeah, she's a blast, she's fun to hang out with. I feel like it's like, again, you're becoming known. People are knowing you, people are recognizing you, people are going to be able to spot you from across the room. So whether that's in the context of a personal relationship, someone knowing you a lot deeper, or whether that's in the context of being single, it just feels like your name almost precedes you, or you are just becoming so recognizable, and there's a lot more like knowledge. I also feel like you're coming to that place where you feel more comfortable being honest, you feel more comfortable kind of disclosing and telling things about yourself. And this fearful energy you may have been in at a certain time, where maybe you were afraid to fully put yourself out there, or afraid what people would say or think about you, afraid of any judgment, like that is ending as well. And people are, I feel like, welcoming you with open arms in so many ways, and that gives you more confidence as well. So it kind of plays off each other. Like the more you show, the more people love it, and then the more confidence you get of like, wow, they really enjoyed me, and this is amazing, and like this just feels so good. With the Ten of Cups reverse, to me, how I'm taking that is, could even be like not being a homebody. If you have been holed up inside in hermit mode, not really going out a lot, kind of doing soul work, but it's been kind of boring. This could be a month that really drags you out of your home and kind of makes you enter the social space, and makes you start talking to people, and makes you realize how much fun it is, how much energy we actually get from other humans. I find that like if I spend a day, in my PJs at home cooking and whatever, or working, and I'm not really going out at all, and I'm just kind of like in my own energy, it feels good for that day. But I will find like the next day I'm kind of like burnt out, and then it's like I might just go to the local corner bakery or something, I don't know, grocery store, and chat with someone really quickly as I'm checking out, and suddenly my energy is restored. I know not everyone is an extrovert, but to me, I really do feel like we get so much energy from other humans, and we really all have our own energy fields that we exude. And of course, everyone's energy feels different. There's some people's energy that's kind of draining, some people's energy that's more restoring. But overall, like, I think we benefit so much when we're energetically a little open and we don't close ourselves off. So, whether that's with one person, recharging our energy with that close loved one, or a family member, or a friend, or whether it's being open to the collective energies, I feel like you are kind of realizing how fun life can be when you just are open to the possibilities and you like let life happen. With the Two of Wands, again, this could definitely be planning for a move or for some kind of travel. The Two of Wands is kind of that planning energy where we're ready to make a change, or we're ready to embark on that new adventure. We might not know all the details yet, and so it might not be ready for like full takeoff. Like it might not be, okay, we're ready to go, here it is, let's make it happen right now. But we're in that stage where we are actively planning. We are like jotting things down. We are making lists and making notes and figuring out details, and it's going to come into fruition sooner or later. Like something is going to happen, and we are ready to start that process of the planning, or after, like we're already in the planning stage, and we're ready to start the process of making it actually happen. So again, I feel like for you guys, there's something big that you're ready for. And if there is a big change you've been feeling the urge to make, but you're kind of like, am I ready? I don't know if I can do this. Spirit is wanting you to know, yes, you are absolutely ready for this. And with the Nine of Wands as well, there is a little bit of risk of jealousy, that some people may get kind of jealous of you during this month of September. And it makes sense. It's coming out over the Sun card. We also got the Six of Wands. So whenever someone gets this much attention, there is the risk of jealousy. I am hearing for some of you guys, this could come in the form of jealous friends or coworkers. But I feel like especially if you are like going out partying in the party scene, whatever, just, that can definitely attract those secret haters in disguise. Whenever you're thriving and doing well, you will have haters, period, no matter what. And Spirit is saying you are divinely protected, but also maybe just to be aware of like taking someone's intentions at face value. I think sometimes, for me, I can look back at every time when I have felt like there was a hater energy around me. And then maybe I think, oh, no, I know they didn't mean it like that. And I'm being too harsh. And like almost always, like it turns out I was right, So whenever we're second guessing, whenever we're like trying to, no, they didn't mean it like that. It's like, they probably did. So I guess for you, if you are going out getting a lot of attention or you're getting a lot of attention at work, whatever, just be a little protective of yourself and make sure to take note of those people who are happy and excited for you when you get good news, or the people that kind of have that micro expression of, ugh, or kind of roll their eyes when we talk, or they smile, but it doesn't reach their eyes. Or they don't follow us back on Instagram. That's always such a tell, right? Like, I always think that's so audacious when someone doesn't follow you back on Instagram, like on your personal account, because yeah, it's just like, to me, it's such a, I know everyone feels differently, maybe because I will follow, if I know you in real life, like I will follow you back on Instagram, on my personal account, obviously. But yeah, like I will follow someone back. So whenever someone like doesn't like follow back, I always just feel like that's like low key super rude, even though I know everyone uses Instagram differently, but I'm always like, oh wow, so you're like openly, you don't like me. Okay, cool. Like, this is kind of crazy. And I'm bringing this up because I was just talking to a friend about it, and she was like, I'm not sure. Like, I think they maybe don't like me, but they don't follow me back on Instagram. And I was like, boom, immediately stop there. They don't like you. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Because they were saying, I think they may be a secret hater. And I'm like, why? And then I was like, oh, Instagram, no follow back. Yeah, they definitely are. Anyway, I think taking stock of that, I think being aware of it, being honest with yourself, will just save you so much trouble, because honestly, who wants to deal with people like that? But either way, these haters, they definitely cannot stop your blessings that are going to be coming in the month of September. Let me get some of these cards for you. Pile number 2. We want to see what is happening in the month of September for pile 2. Many masks, the authentic self. Okay. And let's get a couple more cards. This one says, Dream Thief, refusal of the call. This one is repairing the veil, forgiveness. And, oh, you guys got 2 more cards. Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix, and Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. I'm hearing a message for some of you guys. I know this is a weird message, but there may even be a vibe around getting, I know this is weird, and I hate to even say it because we never want to say anything possibly negative. My microphone just fell off. But there may be even a vibe around like a slight demotion or doing something really different when it comes to your career, but that actually paying off. And I feel like there's a vibe with you around like Spirit wants you to know your trajectory is so great and you're heading in the right direction. So if there's a slight like ego hit you have to take, or a slight downgrade, like sometimes it could be that, I don't know, there's a different role in your office and technically your job has a better title or whatever, and you're being asked to switch into this other role that doesn't sound as important. But it's like, if you are going to benefit long term, or you know what you want, then don't be afraid to do that. And also don't be afraid. Spirit is telling me to tell you, don't be afraid to be a beginner. So if you're like thinking of going back to school, or you're thinking of switching careers, switching jobs, and you're like, yeah, but this is so crazy. Like, I'm in a really respected position as I am now, and I would have to start at the bottom, and I don't know if I can do this. I feel like Spirit is saying you are so powerful. Or maybe this is moving cities and you won't know anyone in the friend group, so you're kind of nervous about that. But Spirit is saying, like, I feel like you're ready for the new adventure. I feel like you're ready for this new cause. And also, I feel like you have someone either actively in your life or maybe just a team on the other side, but they are so rooting for you. And I feel like a big part of who gets to accomplish things is who is willing to kind of sublimate their ego. I think even Taylor Swift gave like a graduation speech about this where she said, you have to be willing to embrace cringe. And of course, a lot of people think Taylor Swift is cringe. But like, she was like, when I think back to all the cool kids in my high school, they're not really doing that much cool stuff now. And when I talk to like the people in my band or the dancers, there was a phase when they were like just starting out that they probably looked pretty cringe, like going to dance auditions and never getting called back, or saying I'm a guitarist and they had never worked professionally. And there's always that phase where you're going to look cringe. Or Taylor Swift, when she first started and she's playing to like 10 people at like a county fair. You know what I mean? So I feel like for everyone, no matter who you are, there's always going to be that beginning humbling phase when you're starting a new cycle or when you're beginning something and you haven't seen the payoff yet. You haven't reached a certain status yet. It's almost like you're just this newbie. You're like this newborn little baby and no one knows what to do with you. And people are kind of saying like, what are you even doing here? You don't really belong. And it's really scary to step into that role. It's really scary to say, yeah, I'm trying this new thing and I want this. And it can feel very humbling. But I feel like you are being told that like, you're so ready for this change. You feel this change in your deepest inner core. So don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to put yourself in that position of the newbie or the person that doesn't know what they're doing, because if this is the right thing for you, you will also feel like forces align in your favor and forces magically, as they say in The Alchemist, conspire in your favor, where maybe you get a random meeting with someone that could be very impactful, or maybe something you do if you're trying to start something new goes viral, or maybe you feel like you just meet a really great client that loves you and wants to support you. Either way, you will have those messages and you will be supported when you're really on that path that is truly speaking to your soul, serving your calling. Trust me, you will be okay and you will be supported. So I feel like for you, just don't worry and just don't let those fears or those nerves get in your way. You are on the right path. And I feel like Spirit is really calling on you to continue to be bold and to continue to kind of push yourself in that direction of what you feel like your heart is calling you to. So let's get some tarot card or message cards to end this reading. So we got ascending the mountain, keep going forward. I love that because that's basically exactly what I have been saying. I feel like for you, you are really being called to not give up. If this is a dream, if this is something you've wanted to do, if there is something that your heart is really calling you to, or that you've been dreaming about, or that you've been nervous about and you've been kind of wanting to step towards it, but then you overthink, Spirit is really telling you like, go for it. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. There's so much potential here. And I feel like you are going to be really happy that you didn't give up on it, that you continue to have that faith in yourself. Let me get some more cards. This one says, grounding, go deep, explore your roots. Okay. Let me get a couple message cards for you. Pile number. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And finally, view from above. Get the big picture. Yes. Spirit also has a little bit of a new message for you guys. Usually when we're ending the reading, we're just wrapping up, but this is a little bit of a new message with this repairing the veil forgiveness card and this card. I feel like there's a message in this coming through about maybe letting go of something that's bothering you. Like there has been something that has been on your mind lately that you keep hashing out over and over in your mind, like ruminating about, going over it, trying to figure it out, like it's bothering you and it's like on a loop in your mind. And I feel like Spirit is saying that you don't need to carry this burden anymore. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to be bothered by it. And also, like, you're so much bigger and better than this, that it's almost like it's not worth your time. And Spirit is saying that, yeah, you're going to look back one day on this situation and almost laugh and be like, oh my gosh, why did I give that any of my energy? Like, it's so beneath me. I hate to talk in those terms. Spirit is reminding you of how valuable your energy is, and especially your energy, pile number 2. Like, you are on such a strong trajectory. You are going to accomplish so much. You got the 6 of Wands. Like, I can just see that you are on this beautiful path. And also, you know, this is the sad reality when you are kind of a superstar and you have this beautiful energy going for you, it does attract haters. You know, if you think of the biggest celebrities, again, not to, yeah, like harp on one person, but Taylor Swift or Beyonce or Megan Fox or whoever. It's always the biggest names, right, that get the most hate. It's never like the random actress that was in, you know, one infomercial that people are like blasting, like, oh my God, I hate her, and talking about her incessantly on Twitter. It's always like the big, big, big names, whether you like them or not. I know some of them, you know, get canceled for a good reason. But my point is that when you are that big of a name, whether you are Taylor, Beyonce, you know, whoever, the biggest celebrity, Angelina Jolie, you are going to have haters, and it's just part of it. And I feel like for you, you are being reminded that you are on this huge trajectory, and yeah, it's going to attract jealousy. And yeah, some of these people are going to try to bring you down. And the funny thing is, they're going to get the karma for that. That's going to boomerang back on them. So maybe this is something that comes up for you in the month of September, or as you're entering into the month of September, there's just something on your mind that is niggling away at you that you're thinking, that was so unfair. That's so not cool. And I feel like Spirit is saying, just drop it, release it. It's not yours to carry. Let me handle the, you know, karma. Let me handle their punishment. They will get it. Trust and believe, because this is like below your pay grade. You know, it's like if you're the CEO of a company, you're not sitting around dealing with customer service, picking up the phone for every person who's like, I need to return this refrigerator. There was a slight dent on the side. You know, delegate that to like the person who's in the customer service department sitting in a cubicle making, you know, 10 bucks an hour or whatever, because you're making millions and millions and you have bigger fish to fry. So you can't possibly spend your time dealing with like, okay, what was the make and model number and exactly where was the dent, and okay, like, you know what I mean? That's beyond your, that's not something you should be wasting your time dealing with. You have something much bigger to focus on. And I feel like Spirit is saying that for you is like, the sky is the limit for you, pal, too. You are on the verge of doing something so huge, so big. And it's just a reminder of keeping your head focused on the prize, keeping your eyes on the prize, keeping your eyes focused on where you want to go. It's like if you're driving in a car, you don't drive with your head turned around, looking in the back or staring at something on the side. You focus in the front because that's where you want to go. And I feel like Spirit is saying that as you head into September, as things get bigger and better for you and you glow up more and more and you get more of these accomplishments, more attention on you, like all eyes on you, which is totally the energy you have for the month of September, just know that the haters are also going to come with that. But don't let that hold you back, because you are on such an amazing path. Pile number 2, I'm so excited for you. This feels like such a big, exciting month. And if it's not super everything happening in the month of September, it's going to be happening later in the year, but you have to be the one to step into this destiny. Trust the process. Get through that period of a little fear or excitement or nerves as you step into this beautiful new energy for yourself, but you are ready. So embrace it, embrace the challenge, and go for it. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your next glow up, as well as one all about your future spouse. But like I said, there's over 90 readings. You also get to vote and suggest on new topics over there. So there is a lot of content over on Patreon. If you want to sign up, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you are looking for a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, whether you want it to be a pre-recorded reading, a live session, a quick half-hour reading, or a full hour-length session. You get to customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good and you would like to sign up, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. So you guys got Patience, Woman Holding a Coin, 7th Chakra, Archangel Uriel, and then Deceit. So this is a really interesting combination of cards. Honestly, I feel like this is going to be a little bit of an intense month for you guys, and there is an energy of maybe like a hater being around you, or something you have to be aware of when it comes to people trying to kind of take what's yours. I feel like there is an energy of maybe something coming to culmination, or almost like a boiling point, like something finally happening, the fullness of its expression. So it's almost like if there's been tension, if there's been someone who's been kind of shady to you, you might actually get into like that argument with them and actually like have it out with them this month. I also feel like for you though, there is a message of protection, and it's really interesting because with this negative card coming out right before it, we have 7th Chakra, Archangel Uriel, and Uriel is actually the angel that like really deals with warnings, warned Noah of the flood, and comes to us through like an idea, a realization. So a lot of times too, when someone is in that situation, maybe they know that like that person doesn't like them, or I don't think this is going well for my career, but I don't know what to do. I'm not sure how to react to it. And whenever you're in that place of doubt, you can call on Uriel to come in for you and give you that guidance. But the thing is that he often comes in the form of just like a download. It comes in the form of just a knowing. That's why it's ruling the crown chakra here. It's not going to come in the form of like a bang, flash explosion, like a flashier angel, like maybe Archangel Michael that comes in with his amazing sword of light. It's more of like a quieter energy, and literally Archangel Uriel also deals with writing, weather events, kind of like quieter subjects, I guess I would say. So for you guys, there is this message of just not to worry, that you will get the download of exactly what to do and exactly how to handle this situation when it does happen. And it's also that message to pay attention to your quiet intuition, because like I said, Uriel isn't one of the flashier angels that's going to come in like, whoa, my gosh, this is a huge like glowing angel in my face. It may just come in a flash of insight, in a sudden piece of knowledge, like, oh my God, I should do this. Or even like an inspiration of like, I should write this down or something like that. So just kind of like be patient with this situation, because I do feel like it's going to unfold at the right timing in the right way. And also that you are going to be divinely protected when it comes to making sure you accomplish the things you want to accomplish, that you protect your bag. I feel like a lot of this jealousy, I'm getting the message that it has to do with your professional achievement. For some of you guys, it could also have to do with your success with like the opposite sex, or if you're attracted to the same sex, you know, but like it's like about sexual competition in a way. It's about someone who is mad about the attention you're getting. It's about someone who I feel like doesn't feel like you deserve what you deserve. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they're dancing around your energy field in the month of September. Maybe they're not fully stepping forward and admitting like, I'm a straight up hater, but they are kind of like looking from the side and, you know, maybe sending the evil eye. A lot of times someone is sending the evil eye without even realizing it. They're just hating. They just think it's normal and they don't realize actually what they're doing. But I feel like for you, you're going to get the download of how to proceed with it. And it feels like you also kind of already know who this person is, or you have an idea of who they are. And it's almost like you might sometimes question like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm overthinking, or maybe they're not actually hating that much. Maybe they don't really dislike me that much. And I feel like again, that's why sometimes divine timing is at play, that you're not supposed to know right away. And in the right moment, you will get the download and you will fully know without a shadow of a doubt. I also feel like this month for you is about really learning to establish your boundaries and trust your boundaries with this deceit card coming out. Like, I feel like there's a message about learning to say no, or learning that you don't have to be so nice to everyone, learning that you don't have to also like overextend yourself. I know for me, when I look back on my past, there was definitely a period of time when I feel like I would go out of my way. I really wanted everyone to like me. I really would worry if like, I don't know if she likes me, so let me be extra nice to her. Let me invite her to hang out. Let me try to, and if someone like didn't like me or unfollowed me on Instagram, I would think about it. I would ruminate about it. And honestly, now it's like I literally could not care less. And if they don't like me, I sometimes will take it as a compliment, because when I look back on that, I always think, like, you hate on the people that are slightly better than you, or you hate on the people that you perceive as having something you want. You know what I mean? If someone is really beneath you, or you're like, this person doesn't have anything going on, you're not gonna like hate on them. You're not gonna be irritated by them. You're gonna be, if anything, you might feel sorry for them. So in a weird way, and I think that realization came to me from watching like other people, like not so much from my life, but it's always like there's some really young girl like in 7th grade or in 9th grade in high school talking about how she's been bullied and left out, and so much of the time she's like a beautiful girl and you're like, it's so obvious what's going on. So you're being hated on because you're cute, and it's so obvious when you're an adult, like, oh my gosh, that's what's going on. But when it happens to you, it can still sting, and it can still be hard to see the forest for the trees. So anyway, that kind of realization helped me realize why other people would be nasty, or why I would be like, I was so nice to them. Like, what's the problem? And I'm not saying everyone who doesn't like you is automatically jealous, but I am saying I think it happens sometimes more than we're willing to admit. Like, we don't want to actually admit how jealous we can be as like human beings. So sometimes we may ignore that. And yeah, I feel like for you guys, there is just this message of learning that you don't have to get everyone to like you, or that you're accepting the fact that someone may have a problem with you. They may be jealous of you. They may be trying to block your blessings, and that really there's nothing you can do about it. And also it's a waste of your energy, because again, when I look back at those relationships I had where I would sense, I don't think this girl likes me, and my reaction would be, oh, let me go out, invite her out to dinner. Let me try to get her to go get drinks with us. Let me be extra nice to her at this party. And what I look back on and think is like, that person was not deserving of my energy, and it was really a waste of time. Never once did it turn into like, wow, now we're besties. And there was one girl that I did feel like I got a shady vibe from her at first, and then we did become close friends, and what do you know, she stabbed me in the back. That was such a life lesson, a spiritual lesson of like, sometimes you just need to accept a situation as it is and actually be grateful for it. Actually be like, I am so glad this person is making themselves known as a hater, because what really screwed me up was the fact that then she kind of acted like my friend, and then I believed like, oh my God, she's my friend. Wow, this is awesome. I'm glad we're getting along, and came into my inner circle. And that was when she was kind of able to like do more damage. You know what I mean? So actually, when someone's like straight up standoffish to you, shady to you, they don't mess with you, or you can just sense the vibe, just leave it be, because really you're probably not going to transform them. They're not going to feel any different. Whatever they're picking up on and perceiving in you is something that is always going to be there, unless you go through like a personality face, like whatever transplant, you are, you know, gonna still have those characteristics. So whatever they were hating on in the beginning, it's definitely not something you even want to change. And like life lesson is just learning to accept it as it is and move on, and trust and believe that the right people, you're never going to have to twist yourself into a pretzel making them like you. You're never going to have to try to put on a show to make them see your value, or make them appreciate you, or make them realize you're a nice person. If someone doesn't like you, they don't like you. And sometimes it can feel like a loss, like accepting that. Sometimes there's this inner fighter in us that's like, no, let me prove to you my worth. But the reality is, your time is so much better spent working on your business, working on your stuff, working on your whatever goals you have, than working on getting some random person to like you. And I mentioned this before, but like, I always want to speak to my empaths, or my people that are into spirituality and very emotionally empathetic. because I used to do this all the time too, where I was constantly like sitting with friends and talking them through their problems and, you know, getting what I look back now and I think, oh my gosh, I think I was getting psychic downloads, and that's how I was like having all these deep conversations, because I was kind of like the go-to therapist guide for so many of my friends, and I would talk them through their problems with their boyfriends, all their issues, whatever. And I look back now and I honestly, like having the perspective of now having a YouTube channel, it kind of irritates me so much, because I'm like, oh my gosh, there was so much gold and wisdom, and it was such a stupid waste of my time, you know, especially now. I think having something like a YouTube where it takes time to film a video, it takes editing, it takes work and effort, you start to kind of realize the value of what you're doing. You start to realize that all those talks, those pep talks you gave your friends that maybe they didn't even appreciate or they took for granted, or they just call you up and be like, hey girl, come over for some wine, and then they disregard everything you said. All those things, like those have value. And I wish everyone else could start seeing that as well. I think having a YouTube channel helps you to highlight that. I'm not talking about I'm the only one with value when I have my little talks with friends. I think so many of us do this, especially light workers, especially healers. We end up like giving, and we don't even put a thought into like, wait a minute, this is actually a lot of my time. This is actually a lot of effort from me. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think there's so much value in kind of like not necessarily just monetizing it, but also like just putting a transactional view of it, of like, okay, I have a limited amount of time in my day. And I know for me, if I put so much work into a YouTube video, at least that YouTube video is helping to build a channel. There's kind of some value that I get back. It's not just me pouring it out into one person. And that for me has been so much more fulfilling than just randomly going up to like friends or people and just, like giving them these hour-long talks about, you need to see your value. You shouldn't go back to him. It's like, gosh, that was such a waste when I add up all the hours and all the time and all the work. And most of the time, people don't even appreciate it. They don't even care. Like, you know what I mean? So my point is for you guys is sometimes accepting a situation is what it is, and then finding a way to pour whatever instinct you have to help, whether you're like, I know I'm a light worker, I know I'm meant to improve life for people and give them guidance. If that's the case, that's great. And then find a way for you to do that. That's also constructive in giving back to you, not just necessarily you pouring it out, and never getting appreciation, because that will burn you out faster than anything else. So I don't know who needs to hear that message, but I just feel like there is a message of you of really like taking a hard look at things and kind of accepting situations for what they are rather than what you wish they could be. Let me get into some tarot for you. Pile number 3. So, oh my gosh, the 5 of Swords. Why am I not surprised you got the 5 of Swords? That is a card of duplicity. That is a card of lying. That is a card of someone who wants conflict with you. And with it being reversed, like I feel like this person isn't even being honest with that. They may act really fake nice to you. They may act sweet to your face. But yeah, I feel like there's someone around you, pile number 3, that just really doesn't want to see you do well. We also got the Wheel of Fortune card reversed, as well as the Page of Cups reversed. I almost feel like when you're in that silly, like fun Page of Cups energy where you're just having a good time and you're laughing and you're like having fun, this person wouldn't appreciate that. Another thing about the Page of Cups is it's extremely charming, and the Page of Cups can be a charmer. It can literally be sometimes like a player because of that, romantically speaking. So again, this person could be sensing your charisma. They could be sensing how other people react to you and how much people like you, and kind of that young, playful, fun, creative energy that the Page of Cups gives off so effortlessly, and they are not liking that. Again, I feel like this person is hating on you not because of your flaws, but because of your gifts. The Wheel of Fortune card as well coming out reversed. The Wheel of Fortune talks about things working out in our favor, things going well for us, luck being on our side. This person may perceive you as just having received things through luck or having things come easy to you because The Wheel of Fortune connects with Jupiter and Sagittarius energy, which is the great benefic. It makes things easy. It makes things flow. It gives you luck. So this person may just feel like you've had things handed to you. You haven't had to work for it. You haven't had to put effort in, and they may really resent you as a result of that. But again, they're hating on you because of your gifts and blessings, not because you did anything bad. And I just really want to emphasize that. So we also got the Ten of Pentacles. That's what I'm saying, is like they're hating on you because of your good. And also the Ten of Pentacles is saying that like you don't need to worry because you are still going to get your blessings no matter what. You're still going to get your bag. You're still going to have things working out for you. You are still going to have that Midas touch where everything you touch turns out gold, regardless of what this person wants to do about it, regardless of what they have to say about it or how they feel about it. So not to worry, pile number 3. Let's get another card. The Eight of Swords. Okay. And I feel like Spirit really doesn't want you to worry about this situation. I feel like Spirit doesn't want you like nervous about it. It almost might even be that there's nothing to do about it right now with this Patience card coming out and the Eight of Swords. Sometimes if it's not the right time to act, then that's okay. And then being patient, divine timing is at play as well. Let me get one more card. Okay, you guys get 2 more cards. This is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we got double pages, and this is the Knight of Swords. Going back to, because I really wanted to focus on this Eight of Swords, it's reminding me of a situation I had that I was so frustrated about. I mentioned it before, and not to get into too much detail, but I had this apartment situation that I really hated. There was so much noise. It was so difficult for me. I'm very noise sensitive, so like, I mean, some people can live in like chaos and, you know, dogs barking all the time and like loud music. And, you know, honestly, God bless them. I feel like that's like a superpower, but I don't have it. And I like cannot stand when there's constant noise, and there was constant noise in this apartment. So I was so frustrated, and I was like trying to get the, you know, apartment to do something to stop the noise, or to like take care of it, whatever. Because literally it was the person who lived beneath me, and or like one room over beneath me, but they would put their dog out on the balcony. I lived on the top floor, and I was like, okay, this will be safe because I know I'm noise sensitive. So let me make sure I get away from the noise. And then of course Spirit's like, oh really, you have a trauma with that, you have an issue with that? Let's press on that bruise a little bit. And that's, you know, how we grow. So I did grow through this situation. But yeah, so there was like a dog out on the balcony on the 7th floor that they would just stick out on the balcony for hours a day, which is also kind of animal cruelty. Anyway, so the dog was barking all the time, even though I was at the top floor and I thought I was far enough away from the noise. Anyway, they wouldn't do anything about it. And I was just stuck like having this dog bark at all hours. And I was so frustrated, and I kept thinking, you know, what can I do? I've emailed them. I've tried talking to them about it. Nothing changes. And I was so frustrated. And I thought with Spirit, like, how could you put me in this situation? What did I do wrong? This is so unfair. And anyway, the divine timing with that ended up literally being the absolute perfect timing. And it's funny because things felt stuck and they wouldn't budge for months. Like I kept, you know, saying, you know, please, can something be done about this? Nothing would change. And then suddenly it was like, I kind of relaxed the energy and just realized, whatever, there's no one's going to do anything. There's nothing I can do. So I'm just going to like put it out of my mind and try to just ignore this, which was basically impossible. But I kind of like resigned myself to the situation. And of course, that's when the energy shifted. And then I got a message from them that's like, tell us within a few days, but you might have, we will release you from the lease, and then you would have a month to move out. And so suddenly I go from like being stuck, budged in the situation, to having a month to get my stuff together and find a new place. And everything started moving so fast. And if it wasn't for that, like that kind of put me on a whole new life trajectory, because after that I was able to move, and it was just, everything that happened led to like something else, and it was so amazing. And that's my point. That really taught me about divine timing. Like we know about the concept of divine timing, but to see it actually play out in your life and know that the timing is so like so perfect, and also that like things were held back, like it was so stagnant, and then suddenly it's like boom, the dam breaks and everything's flowing forward. It really made me realize how much divine timing is at play, and how sometimes you might not know what's going to happen, or it feels like you're in limbo or purgatory, but that doesn't mean things aren't working beneath the surface. That doesn't mean that spirit isn't doing something, or putting something in someone else's heart, moving their heart so they can like do what needs to be done for you. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, you know, with this Eight of Swords, it's almost that message of like, it's okay to be patient sometimes. You know, I would question, well, maybe I should just move out. Maybe I don't know. Should I, like, what can I do to fix this situation? Because I also don't want to be having anything bad happen to my rental history. You know what I mean? And it ended up being so perfect. So I didn't have to do anything crazy. I didn't have to like escalate anything. Everything flowed for me because of the fact that I was willing to be a little more patient. And I feel like in a way, the fact that I kept wondering, why is it taking so long? It's so funny because literally like the week before I had a download, the week before they messaged me, I had a download about where I should move next. And that's what I mean with the divine timing, where like if I had gotten to get out of that lease when I really wanted to initially, I would not have had the download. So the download worked in exactly the right timing, and then everything flowed. And I just feel like for you guys, there is that message that like you are being prepared. And if you don't know all the information now, trust me, you will. With the Knight of Swords as well, combined with Archangel Uriel, it could be pay attention to your mind and pay attention to any downloads you get. Pay attention to any insight. Again, Archangel Uriel comes through kind of quieter. He also rules over writing. So pay attention to what enters your mind, or even you could try some like scribbling down or some channeled writing to see if anything comes up. Let me get into some more cards for you. Pile number 3, you want to see what's going to be happening in the month of September for pile number 3. So we got deep quiet, meditation, and stillness. Okay, let's get a couple more cards for you. Joyful muse, inspiration. Okay. This one is gathering around, the power of community, and wailing tree, reconciliations. So yeah, you guys may also be highly creative during this month. Like I said, and I have said, oh, this just fell out. Okay, we'll read this card as well since it really wanted to come out. Benefactor, grace, and generosity. But as I have been saying, Uriel does connect with writing gifts, writing talents, giving us downloads when it comes to that. And Uriel gives us a lot of creative insight, like a flash of what we should do. You know, when I always mention it because I think it's such a great example of kind of an Ace of Swords moment, that mental download we got, but like J.K. Rowling got the download for the entire story of Harry Potter, and she started scribbling it down on a napkin one day in like a cafe, which I think is so cool. And obviously that changed her life. And I'm sure that was Archangel Uriel bringing it through. So for you guys, just pay attention to what downloads, what insights you're getting, and you may also be very creatively heightened during this month. You got the Page of Swords, or excuse me, yeah, you got the Knight of Swords, but you also got the Page of Cups. Those are both extremely creative. The Knight of Swords deals specifically with communication of all kinds. So it could be writing, it could be songwriting, poetry writing, it could be speaking, public speaking, creating a YouTube video. All these things deal with Knight of Swords energy. Swords energy are about communicating our ideas, formulating our ideas into language, you know. So for you guys, I feel like there may be a real instinct to create in some kind of creative way, and you may get those downloads through meditation or through really kind of taking some time out to be quiet. You might even get some downloads through your dreams. But I feel like for you guys, Spirit is saying trust this process, trust any instinct you have of like, I should paint this, or I should write this, or wow, that would be a really good story idea, because you might be very creatively fruitful in the month of September. And I feel like it's almost like you could channel any frustration you have, or any excess energy you have into making these creative pursuits. I also feel like Spirit is saying they're going to be really strong around you during this month. There's also an emphasis on spending time with family for those of you who are close to your family. I know not everyone is close to your family, in which case if you're not, you can just disregard. But if you are close with your family, there could be a really great vibe around spending time with them, or even with close friends. I also feel like you're kind of going very into your own energy and really being careful and cautious about how you feel after each interaction. And you might even be doing a little bit of hermit mode. I feel like for some of you guys, you may need extra rest this month because you are getting so many downloads on the astral plane. You're doing a lot of shadow work and a lot of self-growth. So you may actually feel kind of physically exhausted during this month because you are actually doing a lot of work when it comes to your higher self, your astral plane self. Let's get some message cards for you. Pile number 3. We want to know what's going to be happening in the month of September for pile 3. Okay, so we got 2 cards. First Light, beginning a new cycle. And this is transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. Let's get a couple more cards for you. This one is grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. And one final card. Okay, you guys got 2 cards. This one is staying focused, hold the course. And one final card, fogged in, go slow, take time. I really feel like Spirit is calling on you to be patient. We've gotten a lot of cards around that. And this could even be if there's a big decision you've been making, like sometimes we don't know why. Why am I not getting the answer? That's how I felt at that time with the apartment. I was just like, this is crazy. Usually I can get a download, I can meditate, I can figure out what path to take, but I really was getting nothing. It was like when I would check in, what should I do? I felt like it was just silence. So I was like, okay, so I'm just stuck in this situation. Have my guides abandoned me? What is going on? Like, I thought, you know, life is about thriving, and now I'm just stuck in stagnancy. And I felt kind of stupid, like, why am I not getting a download? And now I realize that was the reason why, was because the divine timing was at play and everything needed to happen timing wise. Like, I look back now and I think if anything had been different, if I had gotten what I wanted earlier, the timing would not have played out like it did, and my life would not have gone down the path it did. And I'm so glad it did. So much of the time when we're trying to like, okay, but tell me what to do, or we are rushing, or we feel this urgency of like, okay, I got to figure out what's the next step. Trust me, that is not an energy from Spirit. Spirit knows that the divine timing will always happen perfectly. So sometimes when we're not getting that answer, the scariest thing is to continue to trust. The scariest thing is not to just rush. Sometimes it can feel easier of like, I'm just going to take action. I'm just going to do it. You know what? And that's actually sometimes the worst thing we can do, because sometimes Spirit may be making the timing happen for some specific reason. And I feel like part of this is like soul growth you need to go through. Not saying anything bad about you, but like, you know, we're always ascending no matter what process we're on in the spiritual, you know, field. Like someone might be a very ascended soul, but there's still upper level lessons that they're going to be going through. It's kind of like, you know, some people might be in first grade or kindergarten lessons on the spiritual realm, and some people are doing like their master's thesis, you know, or their doctorate. But either way, everyone's still in class, everyone's still got lessons, everyone's still learning. And I feel like for you guys, you are in a period of learning, transmutation, transformation, growth. You are mastering certain lessons, and it's almost like the next step, you're going to need to have mastered this lesson already before you move on to that new step. So maybe that's why things feel like they're being delayed, or you're like, why hasn't this played out yet? Or why am I still stuck in this? It may be because you're still undergoing these lessons, undergoing this transformation, so you can step into this new paradigm, so you can be ready for that. And again, when I think of any blessing I've had in my life, you know, the blessings that didn't work out are the ones where maybe they came in too early and I wasn't ready. Like so many people will say that about their first love. Like, I fell in love in high school, but we were just too immature, and I wish it had been different. I wish I could have said this. You know what I mean? And so sometimes even when you get that blessing earlier than you wanted, or you were like hoping the timing would change and you rushed it, that's not always the best thing. And you might not be ready for it and you might bungle it. And when we are willing to have that patience, when we're willing to like, okay, let me trust the process. Let the process transform me. Let me embrace this change and these lessons coming in. That's when we are able to really welcome in the most blessings, because then we're not going to ruin it. We are going to be ready when the blessings finally come in. And I really feel like that's what's happening for you. So this is also a lesson or a message just to be okay with the place you're at in your life right now. Don't rush it. Don't try to speed up the process or be angry about the process. Again, things are unfolding for you in such a perfect way, pile 3. And I feel like at the end, you're going to be so happy that you just stuck with it, you trusted it, and you allowed the energy to play out. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 3, I really hope that resonates. If you would like to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon. And you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your next glow up, as well as one about your future spouse. But you also get to vote and suggest on new topics over there too. So it's super interactive. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings. There's so much content to go through. So if you're interested in joining me on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you are looking for a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, whether you want it to be a shorter 30-minute reading or a full hour-length reading, you get to really customize your session so it's perfect for you. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to sign up, head to the link underneath the or not underneath anything, head to the link in the description for briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Goddess of the Moon card, hostilities, woman holding a coin, third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, and rest and rejuvenation. So this month of September, you guys may really be getting deeper with your spiritual gifts. Your dreams may be extremely prophetic, and if you haven't carved out a time for meditation, that may be a major thing that you're trying to do this month. I feel like your intuition is just going to be so on point. You're going to be getting downloads left, right, and center. You may even feel it in your heart to create a new moon ritual or to make a new vision board or something, but it feels like you are so in touch with your guides and so in touch with your intuition. If you've been considering getting into tarot and like buying your first tarot deck, or maybe you're already into it, but this is about really deepening your connection to your practice, maybe learning more about astrology. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be so high priestess coded this month. Like you are going to be really, really, really getting those deep downloads and knowing things even before they happen. You may make random predictions and have people ask you like, wait a minute, didn't you say you thought that like, I don't know, something was going to happen to this celebrity and then they had a scandal? Or didn't you make a comment about, oh my God, like I hope blah, blah, blah doesn't happen, and then it does? So just pay attention. You may even make it a practice to like write down certain things coming to you, write down certain ideas or visions you're getting, because I feel like you might look back in the future and be like, oh my God, I was so on point, and that all of that ended up happening. Spirit is also telling me a lot of you guys are going to be going through transformation when it comes to your work. And what I see specifically with that is almost like an energy of doing things a little bit differently. So if you have been considering making changes to how you work or how you earn your money, I feel like this is going to be an excellent month for that. You may find that you just know in your heart it's time to do it, whether you're talking about raising your prices or asking for a raise at work or changing. I feel like a major theme is with changing how you do it. So maybe you've always worked under a certain procedure or a method, or you have a routine, and now you're like, what if I totally changed that up and did that different? I feel like there's almost a little fear from you about like, oh, what's going to happen? Are people going to like this? But Spirit is saying, like, you've been feeling this need for a change for a while, and like, this is so necessary. It's been a long time coming, and this is just like ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it's long overdue, and the change is here. Like, we don't need to think about it anymore. We don't need to ruminate about it anymore, because it's almost like you already know in your heart, and you may feel emboldened to do it. You may even get a confirmation, like maybe you have someone in the same field as you, and if you don't take this step, they take this step, and then you're like, okay, I've got to do it. You know, they've already been doing this, or I've been thinking about doing this, I was too scared, and now I see someone else using it and they're doing really well. Okay, it's time. So I feel like it's almost like something may happen that just makes you know in your heart, like, this is the moment. I've got to step towards it, and I can't dilly-dally anymore. I can't waste any more time, and I can't just be in my head about it anymore. It's time to take action. You guys got the third chakra archangel, Chamuel. Chamuel is one of the major 7 power angels, and also he is a protective angel. So he does come in to protect us. We can really feel the presence of Chamuel when we feel butterflies in our stomach, and Chamuel really teaches us to trust and have faith and have a sense of peace no matter what is going on, because Chamuel is such a protective angel and will take care of everything for us. So I feel like for you guys, it's almost like embracing that uncertainty and realizing that those butterflies in your stomach that sometimes you may feel as you're making a new change or embarking on something new, it's not a bad thing. And a lot of times it can actually be a sign that something good is happening. Sometimes we mistake those nerves and we think, oh my God, is my intuition telling me I shouldn't do it? Is this a no? But a lot of times that may be Chamuel that's just reminding us, like, I'm with you, I've got this, it's handled. And actually those butterflies or that feeling of nervousness or like, oh, should I do this? That can be a step in the right direction. That can be a sign that we're taking a step in the right direction and that this is the path for us. So Spirit just wants you to know that if you are really considering a different move when it comes to your career or your work life, I feel like you're gonna really enjoy that. And whatever this change is, I feel like it almost makes you enjoy your work more. Like, it may be something as simple as you stopping to get your favorite latte every morning instead of just like making coffee at the coffee machine at home or whatever. But something about that ritual, like maybe you just love that coffee shop and they've got like little flowers in the windows and they've got a cute decor, and you kind of like flirt a little with the barista or whatever, I don't know, but there's something about stopping at the coffee shop that always puts you in a good mood, and you love sipping on your coffee during the day, and it's almost like giving yourself that permission. And even though it's a small change, it makes such a huge difference. Or maybe you've been doing your work a certain way, like in a certain, I don't know, editing program or, you know, word program or whatever. And then you find that you switch programs into like a different software and it's just so much easier and it just flows so much better. Or you change something with your schedule and it's like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? I feel like that's the question you're going to be asking yourself, is like, why didn't I do this sooner? It's almost like you didn't give yourself permission. You wanted to make the change, but you kept questioning instead of listening to your inner voice. And I feel like when you finally make that leap and trust your inner voice, you're just going to have this overwhelming sense of relief and this sense that like, it's long overdue. Like, this is exactly what I should have done. And it may make you more money or help you move forward in your career in some way. I feel like whatever step this is, it kind of helps prepare you to take the move to the next level. Like, whatever this is, whether it's freeing up your time, whether it's allowing you to be more efficient, but whatever it is, I feel like this is a huge integral step towards your future and your destiny. And the change it creates in you is going to be something that you look back on and you're like, I'm so glad I did that. And that allowed me to move to this next level. So let's get into some tarot cards as well. And Spirit also is saying with this hostilities card that some of you guys may also even be dealing with some jealousy from people. You may be dealing with people that may smile in your face but don't want the best for you. And I feel like in a way, like this change you're making is going to really irritate them, which is kind of fun in a way. I know we're not supposed to be petty here in the spiritual community, and of course we would never be petty, right? But I do feel like there's a little bit of like a sense of vindication, or like, yes, I did this move. I'm growing because of it. I'm getting better because of it. I am improving in my job, and almost like this paying off, and kind of like that sense of maybe there's some secret haters, maybe there's some jealous people or competitive people, and just that kind of satisfaction of like, it's almost like sometimes when spirit gives us a download, I feel like it's kind of like spirit showing us like a secret trail on a map, you know? Because spirit will show us all the shortcuts to make that happen. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to the rational world. Like maybe the map everyone else is looking at, the printed map that the world gets, not that spirit has, the world gets, just has like visible roads or whatever. But when you get that message or that download from spirit, it's going to have that hidden, private, secret road that no one else knows about. And when you tell them like, oh yeah, I'm going to cut through these woods, or I'm going to go along this river, you're going to have people looking at you like you're crazy and saying, that doesn't make any sense. There's no road there. What are you talking about? There's no way you can do that. And I feel like for you guys, the message is, if you are able to trust this process, if you are able to kind of like go ahead with it despite your anxiety and the fact that maybe it feels like it doesn't make any sense, or the fact that you may feel a little crazy doing it, then it is going to pay off big time. So you don't need to be worried about any of that, and just trust your intuition above everything. Let's get into some tarot for you. Pile number 4. So what is going to be happening for pile 4 in the month of September? What is going to be happening for pile 4 in the month of September? So we got the Judgment card, okay? And let's see what else we're going to get. Oh, okay. The 5 of Swords, and that's coming out over the Hostilities card. That makes a lot of sense. Those cards, they even look similar. And like I said, you may have people who are very competitive with you. I feel like they can see your strength in this field. They know how powerful you are, and they can see this kind of trajectory you're on. They know that you're almost an unstoppable force, pile number 4. And they kind of don't want to see you at full strength. So we also got the Wheel of Fortune card, the Star card, and the Hanged Man. And let's get a couple other cards for you. For the month of September, we got the Knight of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, and let's get one more card. The 10 of Cups, and you get an additional card. This one is the Death card. So yeah, this is really about embracing those endings. You got the Death card, you got the Hanged Man. This is really about taking that new perspective on things and looking at things in a way that no one else is seeing them. That's what the Hanged Man is doing. He's hung himself down from whatever this is, this wand thing, and now he's able to view the world upside down, and that can give him so many more downloads, so much more information. It's literally that shift in perspective so that you're able to see things. You're going to notice things that no one else does. It's almost like if you've ever, squatted down to like a child's height and walked along the ground, and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like everything looks so different. Or if you have a really tall friend and, maybe it's a guy and he says like, hey, climb on my back so you can see what the world looks like at 6'4" or something. And you're like, oh my God, everything looks so crazy different. Like, I can't believe this is your perspective. I can't believe this is how you view the world. And I feel like you are really being called to do that when it comes to your career, looking at things differently, embracing that change. And I feel like you are going to be like a visionary in this field, pile 4. The changes you make in the month of September may really revolutionize everything in your life. It could even have to do a little bit with your romantic life, with Archangel Chamuel coming through. He is an angel that helps you find your soulmate. And you guys also got the 10 of Cups. So this could even be about taking a different approach when it comes to love as well. I'm really feeling like career is being highlighted for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, but it could be taking a different position when it comes to love, maybe taking a different approach. Maybe all your friends are like refusing to go on the dating apps, or maybe, you know, this is about like, I'm gonna get dressed up, I'm gonna try something new, I'm gonna get myself some new energy here, or I'm gonna approach things differently. I feel like Spirit is saying as well, there is a major glow up happening for you overall, and lately you have been focusing your energy on yourself and no longer letting other people like get under your skin or bother you. I feel like you are really being ushered into this position of kind of being a leader to people. Like you have people who are really starting to look up to you in the month of September. And I feel like more and more you're being called to step into that role and not to keep yourself small. I feel like for the longest time, you've almost been afraid of embracing your power, and you've been afraid of what's going to happen once you fully embody this power and this energy. And I feel like in the month of September, it's almost like you're taking the brakes off and you're allowing yourself to just fully go at full speed and like be what it's going to be. You're no longer holding yourself back to make other people comfortable, because it's almost like you've always known you have this power. You know you are this star card energy, but there's a part of you that sometimes deep down inside is like afraid of what that blessing is going to look like, is afraid of what's going to happen if you really do reach your success. And I feel like that energy has kind of been deep down inside your energy field and kind of like creating a problem. I'm seeing that Princess and the Pea, you know, the fairy tale story, the children's book of like a princess, and she could sense that there was a little pea, like an actual like green pea, underneath all her mattresses. You know, she had like 100 mattresses and she could still tell that there was this tiny little vegetable underneath all those mattresses. And I feel like that's kind of your energy. Like, even though you've had so many good things in your energy field and you have such an energy of success around you, this little blip in your energy, this little fear, this little undercurrent of doubt has really been holding you back. And in the month of September, I feel like it's almost like I'm done with making excuses and I'm done with holding myself back. You guys may also, I'm hearing, be invited on different social events or social occasions, and you may find that you end up really enjoying this. I feel like this is also like, honestly, I keep getting the vibe around you, Pile 4, that you are like this natural attention getter. And it's funny because I don't think you seek that out. I don't think you want the attention. I don't think you're trying to get people to pay attention to you or trying to have anyone focus on you. I feel like, if anything, you kind of like hate that. And deep down inside, it feels like a lot of pressure, or it feels like a lot of stress. Or maybe you go out to a restaurant and you feel like heads turn and look at you, or you know, talk about something online and immediately it gets a lot of traction. Maybe, I don't know, you have Twitter and you tweeted something and then it gets so many retweets, or you post something on Instagram and then like lots of random people start liking it. I feel like there's almost this discomfort with attention that you have, which is funny because I feel like you naturally embody getting attention, and it's almost like the more you hate it, the more you get it. And Spirit is saying you're going to have to really be comfortable with this because it is part of your destiny. It is something you're supposed to embrace in order to live out your life purpose. So you don't need to be running away from it. You don't need to be afraid of it. And in fact, I feel like Spirit is saying you're going to be really pleased when the magic happens of allowing this to fully blossom, allowing yourself to get the energy that you actually deeply, deeply deserve. I also feel like there's a message from Spirit that you're very much a light worker and an old soul. Like, you've been around for many, many lifetimes. So that's another factor at play, is like you incarnated in this go round to try to teach others. And I just feel like you are finally kind of sick and tired of running away from it. We got the Judgment card, which is about literally being reborn. And I feel like for you, you are not the same person that you were a year ago, 2 years ago. You're more comfortable with the attention or with what's going to happen with you than you were in the past. So you don't need to worry about how am I going to handle this. You have got this, and you're very spiritually ascended. You also have this very powerful team of angels around you that are working with you. And these angels are telling me that they want you to step into the spotlight. They want you to step into the limelight because you are ready to share this message with the universe. So if it's not you, it's going to be someone else, and they really have chosen you as this beautiful messenger. So they are kind of sick of the excuses. They're kind of sick of the delays or the stalling, the dawdling. They really want you to kind of get into gear and make this happen. Let's get some of these cards for you. Pile number 4. What's going to be happening for pile 4 in the month of September? Unmarked trail, revelation. This makes so much sense to me because, again, I just keep getting the vibe that whatever it is you guys want to do, it is like no one's been done before. No one's done it before, you know? I'm hearing that. I think I said that because didn't Lady Gaga give that like that string of compliments that went viral where she was like amazing, incredible, iconic, never been done before? But that's kind of what I'm hearing in my mind. Like there's something about this change that I feel like you're almost afraid because you know that this shift is going to open up so many doors. And Spirit keeps telling me, if you don't open that door, if you don't step down this trail, someone else will. Someone else is going to get this blessing if you're not willing to take it. So they really want you to do it. They have chosen you for this role, okay? They want you to step forward into it. Deep, quiet meditation and stillness. This could also be, because we got this at the beginning as well, this really is a time in your life when Spirit is speaking to you so loudly. Spirit wants to give you these downloads. So make sure you're carving out some time in your day to meditate, to do yoga, to just be in stillness. Even if it's like you just, you know, give yourself 5 minutes after you wake up in bed to lay in bed and just listen to Spirit. Even if it's like you do this while you're at work, while you're working out, or while you're in the shower. If you're really able to just find some time in your day to clear your mind and listen to what Spirit has to say, I feel like Spirit has so much that they want you to deliver through to the collective, and they are speaking to you louder and louder and louder. Feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. Okay, like I said, I think you're going to be getting a lot of blessings as a result of these changes. The more you're willing to embrace your destiny, the more you're willing to carry out the work that Spirit has given you, the more blessings Spirit is going to give you. Spirit wants you to carry out these missions. It's kind of like you're a contractor that came to Earth assigned to do certain things. And you can imagine that just like the contractor gets paid at the end of building a house, or once they buy certain materials, or once they begin work, they start getting paid. You're going to get paid. You're going to get compensated because you are willing to take on this effort. Let me get some more cards for you. Pile number 4. So we got Deep Diver, diving into a task. I think this card wanted to come out as well. Okay, if I can hold it. Caterpillar opportunity. This is a major opportunity for you guys. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, Spirit has even more things in store for you, is what Spirit is saying. Like, this is almost like just the tip of the iceberg. Like, you really have no idea how much Spirit wants for you. And it's funny because whenever I look back at situations in my life when I was like too afraid to step to something, or I wanted something, but then there was a part of me that would like edit, filter myself, think, no, I shouldn't ask for that. Like the only thing I feel now looking back at that is just like, oh, I wish I'd done that. I wish. There's so many times we get a download, but we ignore it because we're afraid of the judgment of others. We're afraid of what other people are going to think about us. And it's funny because those people, they never pay our bills. We never benefit from pleasing them. We could do everything right and get every bit of approval we can from them, and it's never going to be as satisfying as the feeling we get when we really and literally fulfill our destiny. That is the most fulfilling thing of all. And so I feel like for you, it's almost like this is just the very beginning. Like I'm seeing someone at the very beginning of a trail and they don't even realize what they're getting into. They don't even realize that this is like the start of the journey. This is the not even the culmination of the journey. And it's almost Spirit's almost laughing and saying like, "Oh my gosh, you're worrying so much about this stage." And like, "Hey, this is the easy part. Like this is day 1. You have no idea how intense the vision we have for you. But I do feel like that vision is going to be freaking amazing and you're going to be so happy that you did it. It's not like they're laughing as in like, oh my gosh, we're going to cause you so much pain and trauma. I just feel like you really have no idea how big Spirit's plans are and how much Spirit intends to make happen for you. And I feel like in the month of September, they're really calling on you to work on that sense of not wanting attention, being fearful about that, being afraid, and to really embrace and be bold about going after what you want and really taking what is yours. Spirit is saying, no one can make this choice for you. No one can do this work for you. You're going to have to be the one to embrace it, step through your fear and uncertainty, and to really do it. This is probably going to be a very highly potent spiritual month for you. You may be feeling more emotional this month. You may be feeling exhausted as you do work on the astral plane, because I feel like you are getting downloads, you are doing shadow work, even if you're not conscious of it. Like, trust me, on the astral plane, you are putting in the work, okay? So you may need extra sleep this month. You may have really vivid dreams, and sometimes after your sleep, you may not even feel rested. So make sure you are taking some time out to spend some time at home, enjoy, relax a little bit, and listen to these downloads as they come in. Let's get some message cards for you. Pile number 4 about the month of September. Okay, that's too many cards. We want 1 or 2 at a time, Spirit. So we got ascending the mountain. Keep going forward, okay? Yeah. I feel like Spirit really wants you to keep this momentum, keep going, not to be afraid. Taking shelter, the answers are within. Yes. And let's get answering the call. The time is now. Yes. And I love that, answering the call. And then overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. And that's what Spirit is saying, is like, you are so capable of this. And one thing you need to know, but one thing you need to know, pile 4, is like the more you give and the more, I feel like there's such an urge inside you of like, I want privacy and I don't want to be seen and I just kind of want to be on my own and like not have anyone notice me. And Spirit is saying that it's actually funny, because the more you show yourself, you're so afraid of like what's going to happen when you get that attention, when actually the reality is the more attention you get, the more happy and fulfilled you're going to be. It's kind of like that energy of someone who's maybe, I don't know, living in a very small town, and every move they make, they get a ton of judgment, they get a ton of hate, they get people who are just angry at them, and they think, I don't know, I'm too scared to move to LA and try to be in Hollywood. But once they move to LA and get into Hollywood and they get so much more attention, 1,000 times more attention than they got in their small town, but they have people who embrace them. They have people who get them, understand them, love them. And sometimes it really is about that test of who is bold enough to go after something, who is bold enough to listen to that inner voice that's speaking to them instead of to the voices from the outside or the opinions from everyone else. Sometimes it's really about that own inner journey that we're all on for ourselves, and being the one who advocates for ourselves instead of giving up our dream because we're afraid of what anyone else thinks. So yeah, I feel like in the month of September, there is so much potential for you guys to grow. There is so much potential for you to really be on this path where you are going to be accomplishing some amazing things. And Spirit is saying you need to really take the reins. You really need to embrace this energy. You really need to take this opportunity because it is very powerful. And if you don't take it, someone else will. You are a very talented light worker, pile number 4, and the universe needs you right now. So you need to really snap into gear. Don't let these fears win out anymore, and really start on your destiny path. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I have over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your next glow up, as well as one about your future spouse. And you also get to vote and suggest on new topics. So there is so much content to go through. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. If you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a tarot reading, an astrology session, an open channeling session, or a combination of all three, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, whether you want it to be a quick 30-minute reading or a full hour-length reading, you get to customize your session so it's perfect for you. If that sounds good and you would like to book a slot with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.